Welcome to the Digital Intellect, bringing you the latest news from around the world. The headlines flashed across screens worldwide. Manila embraces Beijing. Philippines pivots from US to China. For decades, the Philippines was a steadfast American ally, a treaty partner, a democratic bulwark in the Pacific. Suddenly, that foundation seemed to be cracking. The world watched, holding its breath. The announcement came directly from Malacanang Palace, a declaration of a new, independent foreign policy. But actions spoke louder than words. The Philippine government was actively courting its former adversary. Generations of Filipinos had grown up viewing the United States as their nation's primary partner and protector. This dramatic shift felt, to many, like a betrayal of history. To others, it was overdue pragmatism. The pivot was not subtle. Old alliances were questioned. New friendships celebrated with state visits and grand ceremonies. The government argued the Philippines had to look out for its own interests first, now aligning more closely with China than the US. This was more than politics. It was about identity and the future. The decision forced a national conversation. Was the nation's destiny still with the West, or did a new path lie in Asia? The only certainty, the Philippines had stepped into uncharted territory. With the world watching as a stakeholder in this unfolding drama, the old maps no longer applied, and the journey ahead was fraught with both opportunity and danger. At the heart of this pivot is a staggering sum. China has placed billions of dollars on the table. This isn't modest aid, it's a nation-altering investment proposal. Loans, grants, and partnerships to transform the Philippine archipelago. Tens of billions pledged for projects touching nearly every aspect of Filipino life. The offer is designed to be irresistible, a golden key to progress and modernity. The proposed projects read like a national wish list. New railways, bridges, ports, airports, and dams. These are mega projects, foundational infrastructure that can redefine the nation's economic potential. For a government under pressure to deliver, the Chinese proposal is a lifeline, a chance to build a lasting legacy. The terms are complex. Soft loans, commercial agreements, and Chinese state-owned enterprises bringing expertise and workforce. The plan: fast-track development, build bigger and faster than ever before. Beijing's message: we can help you achieve your goals in a fraction of the time. This promise of speed and efficiency is a powerful lure for a nation weary of delays. But this is more than concrete and steel. It's a strategic partnership. The investment comes with expectations: closer diplomatic ties, increased trade, and regional cooperation. The deal aims to pull the Philippines firmly into China's economic and strategic orbit, creating a new regional reality. To understand why China's offer is so tempting, look at the daily reality for millions of Filipinos. The nation faces a severe infrastructure crisis. In Manila, gridlock is a daily ordeal, choking the economy and fraying nerves. Across the archipelago, poor roads and infrequent transport isolate rural communities, stifling local economies and perpetuating poverty. A dependable nationwide power grid remains elusive, with frequent brownouts hindering growth. Past efforts, often funded by traditional partners, have been slow and bogged down by bureaucracy. The public's patience has worn thin. There's a hunger for rapid, tangible progress. China's proposal fills this vacuum, offering a model that's fast, decisive, and massive in scale. Beijing promises to cut through red tape and get things built. For a government and populace desperate for solutions, this is a powerful message. The infrastructure crisis isn't abstract. It's the long wait in traffic, the canceled ferry, the flickering lights. When a partner says, "We can fix this and quickly," it's almost impossible to refuse. The risks may be real, but the need for change is urgent. For many, the promise of transformation outweighs the potential dangers. The question is, at what cost? The Philippine infrastructure deal is part of a much larger puzzle: China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. The BRI aims to create a vast network of infrastructure connecting China to the world, placing it at the center of a new global order. For the Philippines, joining the BRI means becoming a key node in China's maritime Silk Road. The proposed ports and railways would integrate the Philippines into a China-centric global supply chain. For Beijing, a friendly Philippines is a strategic victory, expanding its influence in a critical region. The BRI is more than economics. It's a tool of statecraft, building dependencies and political alignments. By embracing the BRI, Manila is betting it can harness China's might for its own development without compromising national interests. The arrival of the BRI signals a new chapter, one defined by Chinese-built infrastructure and a complex relationship with a rising superpower. the stakes are high and the outcome uncertain. The potential upsides are immense. For the average Filipino, the promise is tangible: change-efficient subways, new railways, and modern roads. Chinese-funded projects could create hundreds of thousands of jobs and provide an economic boost nationwide. Modern infrastructure would lower business costs, attract investment, and enable manufacturing to flourish. The Philippines could move up the value chain, shifting from remittances to industry and innovation. There's also the chance for technology transfer. Filipino professionals working alongside Chinese engineers gaining invaluable skills. This isn't just about building things, but building human capital for a modern nation. The wave of modernization could enhance national pride and unity, symbolizing progress and optimism. For a nation long called the sick man of Asia, this psychological boost matters. The promise is a future Filipinos can be proud of: prosperous, connected, and modern. But this path is lined with perils. Critics warn of debt-trap diplomacy. China provides massive loans, and when countries struggle to repay, Beijing gains leverage. Sri Lanka's loss of Hambantota port is a chilling cautionary tale. Many Chinese loan agreements are opaque, raising fears of hidden clauses that could threaten Philippine sovereignty. Reliance on Chinese companies often means imported materials and labor, limiting local benefits. Environmental and social costs loom large. Rapid construction can displace communities and damage ecosystems. The lack of transparency creates fertile ground for corruption, with deals potentially inflated to benefit elites. The danger: Filipinos could be saddled with debt for overpriced projects serving a few, not the nation. The dream of modernization could become a nightmare of dependency and decay. The pivot to China forces a complex recalibration of the US-Philippine alliance. For over 70 years, this alliance shaped the nation's military, foreign policy, and identity. Now Manila is hedging its bets, seeking benefits from both superpowers. Some Filipino leaders see the US as unreliable, while China offers tangible benefits with fewer conditions. But this high-wire act is risky. The US is unlikely to stand by as a key ally drifts toward China. The pivot could jeopardize military cooperation and leave the Philippines isolated if relations sour. The implications for regional stability are profound, with other US allies watching closely. Manila's decision signals the end of old certainties, ushering in a more unpredictable world. The pivot to China has ignited a fierce debate dividing Philippine society. Supporters, officials, business leaders, and citizens see China's investment as a chance to modernize and fight poverty. For them, pragmatism trumps history. Critics, opposition, nationalists, activists warn of a Faustian bargain, trading sovereignty for short-term gain. They point to China's actions in the South China Sea and fear a debt trap and corruption. The debate is about trust. Can China be trusted? Can the government protect national interests? It's also about identity. Many Filipinos feel cultural affinity with the West and distrust China. At stake is the nation's character. Will it remain a democracy aligned with the West, or prioritize development even at the cost of democratic norms? The nation is at a crossroads, and the path chosen will be irreversible. The partnership with China is overshadowed by the South China Sea dispute. China claims almost the entire sea, ignoring a 2016 International Tribunal ruling in favor of the Philippines. Critics argue Manila is downplaying the dispute for economic gain, risking its legal and moral standing. Supporters say economic cooperation could open channels for dialogue and de-escalation, but as economic dependence grows, Manila's ability to push back on maritime issues may weaken. Beijing could use its leverage to pressure the Philippines into silence or submission. This would have serious repercussions for sovereignty and regional security. The calm waters of economic cooperation may hide treacherous geopolitical currents. The Philippines stands at a historic juncture, facing a choice between two starkly different futures. One path is spectacular success. Partnership with China unlocks a golden age of development, jobs, and prosperity. The nation becomes a regional hub, balancing relations with both Washington and Beijing. The gamble pays off, and the Philippines becomes a model for harnessing China's rise without losing its soul. But there's a darker path. Promises turn sour, projects are plagued by corruption, and debt mounts. Sovereignty erodes, environmental costs mount, and benefits are concentrated among elites. The nation becomes a cautionary tale, alienated from old allies, dependent on an authoritarian power. Infrastructure becomes a monument to failed strategy, and the country is left poorer and more vulnerable. The regional balance of power shifts decisively in China's favor. The choice between these futures is being made now, in the deals signed and debates held. For the Philippines and for the world, the stakes could not be higher. The road ahead is unwritten. The nation's destiny will be shaped by the decisions made today. The world is watching.